Are we live? We are live. Hi, everybody. Pleasure to see you. And to see you is a pleasure. I would love to say hi. And I just had a wonderful experience. I started my first day teaching at a lovely large institution, and it was a lot of fun. And my fellow tutor, given I'm starting my career a bit later in life, my fellow tutor is the age I was not long before I was diagnosed with autism. And it was such fun to see him because obviously he's not aware yet. He may not have been diagnosed, but I just saw myself. He walked straight out, came out, hello, loud voice, no, how are you, nothing. And you can tell very, very pure of heart, just wants to say what's on his mind, completely unaware of whether or not someone is receptive to it. Doing his best to make friends, genuine person, very warm. But he was making all of the, I wouldn't say errors, he was acting beautifully, the way I would understand, but in a neurotypical world, he was acting in a way that neurotypicals might not necessarily understand. So he would walk in and say, this is what I'm going to do. What do you think? Tell me what you think. And then he would write some maths on the board, and I'm looking at him saying, yep, that's great. That's a great idea. What do you think? He goes, yes, but what do you think? I want to know what you think. And it was just so cool because everything he was doing is exactly what I would have done at what I did do at the time. And a neurotypical not trained in how to understand someone with autism might say, how rude, they don't say hello, they don't ask me about me. But the poor guy's genuinely trying to connect and thinks this is the way to do it. And he's engaging and he's excited that someone's talking to him back. And so I had all the time in the world for him. And it was a lot of fun. Now, we had some students come in. And one of them, for example, said, oh, I'm looking for Gabriel. So someone must have referred him to me. So he came and he wanted to ask me, look, I was taught this thing and I've looked up videos and I can't understand. And it was a mathematical proof. And then the other tutor jumped straight in because I completely understand. I would have done this because I'm thinking, oh, I have the solution. I will give you the solution. Now, of course, neurotypicals in general don't work that way. They have timing and context and wanting to engage with the person first to build rapport. All of these things that I've had to learn over the years, which all, of course, seem alien to me. But I've understood that, like learning another language, I've learned that you have to do this. So he just talks straight over the top of me, and I thought that's cool because I would have done exactly that. So I let him do it, and I thought, here's my strategy. I'll wait for him to spend about 6 minutes and completely confuse the other student. Hello. And he won't be aware, knowing that I wasn't aware, that the other student's eyes will glaze over and completely not understand what's going on. And because people, hello Elijah, what up? Because people are polite or shy or non-confrontational, the student's not going to say that he's confused. But I'm looking at him and I've now learned through years of therapy to recognize that he's not processing the information. And so my young autistic brother teaching on the board, you have to do this and you can do this and you see. I just loved him. It was so cool because he's clearly brilliant and he knows what he's talking about, but he hasn't realized how to, of course, explain it to say more of a standard neurotype. So I thought my strategy is this. What I will do is I will wait 6 minutes because I know that 6 minutes is roughly going to be, what's this story? Is it okay if you start over? I'm interested. Oh, thank you. It was about, just to catch you up, I came into my teaching role today and I have had about 20 years of therapy to help interact with neurotypicals after I was diagnosed with autism. Now today, I was paired up with a tutor who was my age when I didn't know that I had autism, and so I was functioning the way he's functioning today. So I could see it all happening, and it was such an amazing experience to be able to see myself 20 years ago today in an instant. So what I knew was that he was going to completely confuse this student. So I said, what I'll do is I'll wait for him to confuse the student, and then I will say to the student, here is a diagram that will help you understand what this other tutor, let's call the tutor Gary, what Gary is explaining to you, because what Gary is showing you is quite powerful and brilliant. So this way, I'd already anticipated that I'm going to elevate Gary and help people acknowledge his brilliance so that he's not alienated, and then take the opportunity of the student being confused to then show him a diagram, but then show him that once he understood the diagram, then he could go back to Gary's work. And that was the plan. That's what I had. And I let it happen. And it worked out exactly as I had anticipated. So 6 minutes in, I already had my diagram ready. He sat down. I said, here's the diagram. This is what's happening in picture format. Imagine a train, imagine a this, blah, blah, blah. That's your epsilon, that's your delta. So then he goes, ah, and his eyes light up. He's like, ah, now I get it. And it was the best feeling in the world. And then I said to him, I said, now that you understand that, now you can look back at Gary's explanation and see how powerful it is because it's in higher dimensions. So that then made him respect Gary, which allowed Gary to feel included, which is what I would have loved for me when I was 25 and autistic and having people just make fun of me all the time and think I'm a weirdo or an asshole or this, etc., not understanding that I didn't understand. So it was such a story arc that I could go from that person to come to this person to then help a younger version of myself or that past person again in the future. So it's like time traveling in a way. So at the end of the day, we have a happy tutor, a happy student who walked away with his head up feeling, yes, I'm not dumb, I completely get what's going on. And that might have helped change his trajectory. So he might now become a professor or a doctor or something in mathematics where he might have given up if it wasn't for that experience today. And it's amazing how small little things like that can change people's worlds. So in 2045, this guy might look back and think, wow, or he might not even know, but his whole life has changed for the better because of what happened today. But it was 2 people at once. I helped Gary, 3 people. I helped Gary, I helped myself get closure, and I helped this young student. And it was such an amazing experience to show that over 20 years, even with autism, and back then there was no such thing as autism. What it was that people just thought you were an asshole or an idiot. They didn't really know what it was. So for me, it was a healing process as well. So there you go. It was a whole nexus of various story arcs, either beginning and ending simultaneously. So I hope you take that, enjoy it, take the meaning, what you like from that. And what's Dimana Itu KK? I don't know what that means. All the best, and until next time, don't forget to take life one smack at a time.